Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're making another small batch recipe. We're cooking for two, and I'm going to show y'all how to make homemade cornbread for two people. It's fast, it's easy, and simple. There's one way to always start a debate in a room full of ladies here in the South is to bring up your cornbread recipe. Everybody's got their own strong opinion about their cornbread and how to cook it and what to cook it in. So in today's video, I'm going to share this small recipe on how to do a small batch skillet of cornbread. So y'all come on and let's get started. How many of y'all like homemade cornbread? Well, we're going to be doing just that. Come on and join us, and we're going to show you how to make homemade cornbread, and you don't have to buy those little Jiffy boxes at the store. You can make it at home just as good. So let's turn around here, and I'm going to show you what it takes to make a skillet full of cornbread for two people. Let's get started. Okay, this is what you're going to need for your small batch of homemade cornbread. You'll need 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 cup plus 1 tablespoon of real butter, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 6 tablespoons of cornmeal, 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 egg. Plus you'll need a small skillet. Mine's an 8-inch skillet. It's big enough for two people. Or you could use any kind of baking dish you choose to use. It's what you'll need. And then you're going to need a mixing bowl to mix your stuff up in. So let's get started and let's make this homemade cornbread. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is preheat your oven to 400. And then you'll be adding your butter to your skillet and put it in there and let it start heating up the butter as the oven is preheating. So we're going to go ahead now, and I'm just going to eyeball it and put it in my skillet. That's around the amount the recipe calls for. And we're going to go ahead now and we're going to coat this real good in our skillet, and we're going to put it in the oven while the oven is preheating. You want to preheat your skillet or even your baking dish. That's what's going to give your cornbread that crispy taste around the edges. And that's what you're looking for in cornbread. So let's get it in the oven. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is go ahead and start mixing your dry ingredients first. We'll go ahead first and we're going to put our cornmeal in. Start by adding our cornmeal. And then we're going to add our flour, our sugar, our baking powder, our salt, our baking soda, and now we'll use one of these to crack our egg in. Make sure you beat your egg before you put it in your mixture. Okay? We're going to take our melted butter and go ahead and just put our egg in our butter. And then we'll add our milk. 1/2 cup of buttermilk. And now we're going to mix the liquid ingredients together. And now we're just going to add our mixture. And give it a stir. Back when we were little, I remember my mama making cornbread almost every day. Biscuits and cornbread is always what she made, because that was something cheap that they could make. Just get all your mixture mixed in. And make sure you scrape the sides, because You don't want to leave none of that behind, especially right now as high as groceries are. We got to make every little penny count. Okay. And now we're going to get it in our skillet. Okay. When you get your skillet out of your oven and all your butter is melted real good, just give it a swirl to make sure it coats the sides real good. And now it's time to put your cornbread in your skillet. Make sure you get it all out. And then we'll just spread it out evenly. And I always like just to give it a little tap, and that'll make your cornbread settle. And now let's get her in the oven. This is a simple, easy recipe, and you won't have a lot of leftovers. When you're only cooking for two, sometimes it's hard to do. So we're trying to adjust recipes to make it simple and easy for two people. The best way to test your cornbread to see if it's done is the same way you do a cake. When it comes out clean, it's done. But see, this one's not coming out quite clean, so it's not ready. But even now, you can tell by preheating your skillet how you get that pretty crust on the edge of your cornbread. Now let's check our cornbread and see if it's ready. Oh, y'all look at there how pretty that is. Cornbread for two, and maybe a piece left over for your husband's lunch the next day. Comes out clean. So it's ready. Did y'all see that? Came right out of that cast iron skillet. Fell out, actually. And look how pretty and clean your skillet is. It didn't stick at all. Girls, I'm telling you, you need to get you some cast iron. If you've never made cornbread, y'all need to give it a try. It's easy and simple. All you got to do is try, and you can make homemade cornbread just like your granny did. So the next time you're at church or around a group of ladies and you want to get a conversation started, just bring up cornbread. And they'll get to telling you their recipe, if they'll share it, and how they got it, and what they cook it in. There's some people that have iron skillets that are dedicated for nothing but their cornbread. And if you mess with that skillet, you might have a bad day. Okay, y'all, I hope you like this video on a small batch recipe of homemade cornbread. If you do, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like, share, and share our videos. And subscribe if you hadn't already. Thanks for watching.